Size doesn't matter. Now, I'm talking about domestic abuse. And something I come across a lot is people who say, oh, you can't have been abused, you're a big guy. Or people thinking that guys can't be abused because of their size. And that's complete nonsense. So I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2". I'm 130 kilograms. I do strongman training. I compete. I'm not someone you'd look at and think, oh, he's small, meek, mild, typical victim-looking person. There's no such thing. Size plays no part. Abuse is not about size. It's not about gender. It is about power and control. It is one person exerting their power and will on another person to get what they want at the detriment of whatever the other person is. It has absolutely nothing to do with size. And it would be great if we can get this message out there to people that, abuse has no gender, abuse has no size, abuse has no sexual orientation, no religion, nothing. It is purely about a person being abused by another person. There might be cases where people say, oh, but there were lots of men that abused those people or lots of women that abused those people. It doesn't matter. Abuse is terrible for whoever it's happening to, and it needs to stop. It's not about anything. Anyone can be a perpetrator of abuse, and anyone, absolutely anyone, regardless of anything else, can be a victim of abuse. So something I'm trying to do is, given with how I look, given my size, given that I'm a guy, come out here and talk to other men and say, look at me. I'm not what you consider a small, weak guy. I'm not what you consider a typical victim look. If it can happen to me, it can happen to you. And if it has happened to you, reach out, open up. There's no shame. People think there is, and people try and make the shame. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. You were abused by someone who did something wrong to you. You're not going to say to someone, oh, someone mugged you, you should be embarrassed. It's the same thing. You have no reason to be embarrassed no matter who you are. I used to feel that way. I used to think that it was embarrassing, humiliating, but after learning all about it, learning all the things these people do, learning how they groom you over time, you have absolutely nothing to be embarrassed about. Whether you've been abused, whether you've had false allegations, whether you've experienced things like parental alienation or anything else that affects men in the world today that we live in, you have nothing to be embarrassed about. Open up, talk to someone. I've written my story in my books. I've written other men's stories in my books. Go grab them. They're on Amazon. Join groups, talk to people. But if I can leave you with one thing, size does not matter.